C4 is only dangerous if you got a blasting cap, a detonator.
I have a solution for Black Lives Matters. Like, I have this all worked out. So here's the scoop. As it stands... Oh, this can't go wrong.
Everybody get your notepads out.
I was waiting for like a gun or something.
No.
What are you about to say?
So, as it stands, Black Lives Matter has a couple of problems. One, it's really ineffective at making the change they're looking to make, right? That's not happening. It's not as if police are like, you know what? Now that you've killed a couple of us and maybe burned down a hair salon in your neighborhood, it's about time that we start behaving more. That's not the change they're getting at all. If anything, they're just sort of creating it. Like a gang war between, the Black Lives Matter guys and then the police guys. And there's been other like BLM attacks or attempted attacks towards policemen. You've got the Russians declaring Black Lives Matter as like an official terrorist organization, like enemy of the state type thing. What Black Lives Matter needs to do to actually get change is work through the legal system. What it should be is a legal...
That's worked so well for them in the past.
No, it has. That's how change actually happens, right? Like you get Supreme Court like voting rights instated. Like this is how it works. So if you want to, like, if I were God of Black Lives Matter or King or whatever, it should be a legal defense fund. And then every time someone gets in trouble, like the police should know that they're well funded. Like this Black Lives Matter thing has all this momentum.
United Negros Defense Fund.
Yeah, and then that'll get the change. If cities knew that whenever there was this issue, like there was going to be a giant civil course and it was going to cost them millions, it would change the way police were trained. If there was a legal defense fund, because right now these people are poor that typically get into trouble with the police and they have no legal repercussions. So if there was a fund there that they knew they could tap into when things go wrong, then cities would change the way they change. They would get actual change. Like it wouldn't happen overnight.
You'd want it to be basically like the ACLU, but selectively for one race, like one group. One group's ACLU.
I guess so, yeah. And
I'm not critiquing, I was just asking.
like remember the H3H3 guys? They were like defending copyright or something like that, and they got way more in donations than they needed. So they created a fund so that the next guy who gets sued for copyright violations can tap into that, hire an attorney, maybe the video game attorney or whatever, and defend themselves from what they feel are bad copyright claims, like that parkour pickup artist dude.
I think you're giving this community a lot of credit.
Someone deserves the credit in the community. I mean, there's going to be someone in there who has the leadership abilities and who's not a thief to like take all this money. Right?
Yeah,
but
that's what'll happen every fucking time. And that's not just a black thing. Like I was about to say, I bet if there were a bunch of Jewish people who were being, gunned down in the streets or something, like they put something together and defend themselves, and they would. But something about the African American community, I just don't see that being their ticket out of this. I just don't. What they're doing is probably their best bet, to be honest.
If you want to affect change, gosh, putting snipers in buildings shooting cops, it will get you the opposite of what you want.
They've gotten the change they wanted already. You've got police departments around the country doing these de-escalation tactics. It's becoming practice. I hate to say it, but the awful things they're doing are getting some attention. Get the president sitting there with George W. Bush. Talking about this thing. Did you see the shooting video today that was released? I believe it was a 19-year-old black man. He's in a pickup truck. Two cops come out, guns drawn, show us your hands, show us your hands. It looks to me like suicide by cop, but you get he's got a body cam. So you get a first-person viewpoint of him shooting this guy 4 times. And it was a good shoot as far... Let me find it, because it's visceral.
The other thing that I feel like Black Lives Matter could do better is... pick the right people to rally around. I remember in South Carolina there was a shooting. I think the cop said, hey, go get your wallet. And he, darts back into his truck to get his wallet. And the cop just starts shooting. That was a bad one. Bad shooting, that was a bad right? One. Yep. If everyone rallied around this one and said, oh, my God, he got shot because he's black, whatever, then people, But then the Alton Sterling, right? He's a pedophile of some sort. He's been in and out of prison for so long. And when you rally around him, you don't get national sympathy. You're just like, oh, that shucks, this guy. Well,
it's because, quite frankly, there aren't a huge number of cops who are just going around shooting black people for no reason. It's not that's not happening. That's not a reality. So the entire movement there is based on a false premise of we're being gunned down in the street for this.
Disproportionately.
And, we're being disproportionately gunned down in the street. And it's like, if you actually look, it's very difficult to have discussions with people about it. Not that I go around having discussions with people about it, because it's not my number one on my checklist, but I've watched people online, have little debates about it and whatnot. And the BLM side, even if they're not directly involved in the movement, any kind of question, any kind of bringing up of statistics or trying to delve deeper into the facts of the matter is immediately labeled as bigoted and racist, and it shuts down the discourse, which is very not helpful. But it is what those representatives at the top of that group want, because they know I don't think that they're stupid people. I think that they know the truth. Just like Al Sharpton is not an idiot. He's not an idiot. He plays people and he manipulates them and he riles people up and gets people going about stuff to his own advantage. That's the nature of what that guy does.
The numbers show that
people there. It's just not true.
The statistics show that black people are not shot by police disproportionately higher than white people. What it does show is that police are more likely to get physical with a black person than they are a white person. Now, you definitely need to see if there's any correlation between the fact that African Americans are more likely to commit violent crimes than white Americans are. There's probably some correlation there. Sorry,
keep going, Kyle.
No, I'm all done. The video's here in the thing, by the way, of this cop shooting. It's a good video. I mean, let me rephrase that. It's worth watching.
So where do you want to start it? It's 6 minutes long. I see at 2:36 is when he gets out of the car. Does that work for you?
I'm at 3:30, and they haven't done anything yet.
Oh, really?
Is this one of the truly?
This is a good shoot.
Cut and dry bad.
Let's start at 3 minutes. That seems like a good round number.
All right.
Are we on 3 minutes?